Hi and welcome. I'm going to be doing some more questions for all of y'all. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I do a bunch of deep dive self stuff, and that's like another one of these. And yeah, so this is just a bunch of questions I pulled from the internet. Also on here you can find acting stuff and film reviews if that's what you're into, so make sure you press subscribe because that helps, and make sure you like this video and comment. Doesn't even have to be necessarily a good comment, although those are my favorite, obviously, but even constructive criticism I will take. So the first question is, am I who people think I am? I hope so. I don't really try to think a lot about what people think about me because I will get anxiety. Do I think I would be happier if I had been born a different gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity, nationality, or region? Honestly, I could have been born a boy of any color, and I think I would have been better. Even a black boy. I know life is rough for them, but I think I would have felt better being born as a man. Maybe that's weird, especially coming from somebody who's like non-binary, but like, I don't know. I do kind of feel like life would have been easier for me had that been that way, regardless of race. Obviously, in some like legal systems, it wouldn't have been with my race because welcome to America, unfortunately. But in terms of family, me being born as a boy would have been easier. Yeah. My toxic trait. The next question is, what is my toxic trait? Am I trying to improve myself and fix it? I definitely feel like my toxic trait is that I have a tendency to be antisocial, or I just like, I could reply more to people, I could reach out more to people, and I often just feel drained and I don't. And I am trying to improve myself and fix it, but it's been a habit to kind of self isolate, and especially then we were encouraged to do it. So I'm working on fixing it, but it's been a challenge. Do I anger easily? It depends on the day, I would say. It also depends on where I am in my hormonal cycle. I don't feel like I do, but there are certain things like misogyny and just like people being deliberately mean and trying to get a rise out of me, or like narcissistic personality traits that will like get me pretty heated pretty fast because my like tolerance level for that is just, it's low. Am I a jealous person? I don't really think so. Even the minute I feel jealousy, I can usually convert it to something else. Like, I can get to the root of what jealousy really is. So, I'm going to say no. If I lost all of my memories, would I have the same personality? I definitely wouldn't. I probably would be a lot more happy and confident if I lost most of my memories, to be honest. Given the chance to reset my life with none of the knowledge I currently have, would I take it? I would not reset my life because I'm assuming the circumstances would be the same, so that would just be dumb. Especially if I can't have any of the knowledge I have. No, I'm already exhausted. Like, let me just die, you know? Not to be dark on Maine, but you know. Is hate as strong as love? Who do you hate? I believe that love is stronger than hate, and I don't really think I hate anybody. I hate the fact that people are abusers, but I don't even know if I necessarily like hate my abusers. Like, I am unhappy with them. I probably like dislike them, but I don't know that I hate them. I don't really wish anybody ill will because I don't like the way my body feels when I do that. But I often do wish, like, I wish for people to be better, right? Like, I transform that feeling, but I don't really hate anybody. Do I speak multiple languages? Which do you dream in? What language would you want to learn? I do not speak multiple languages. I mean, I speak like very, very minimal French and Spanish. I would love to learn French and Spanish too. There's just a lot going on, and I have not had the discipline to do it. But I dream in English, which is usually like very, very weird anyway, and it pretty much sounds like day to day life and what I dream in. Do I draw meanings for my dreams or do I disregard them? Sometimes I disregard dream, and then I do like to look up dream meanings because I do think it tells you a lot about your subconscious, and I love doing that for my friends because it's so funny because it's usually spot on. What they're dreaming about is about their like stressors in daily life, and it's just, I relish it. I relish giving them that information. I relish being my friend's therapist they didn't ask for. How would I describe myself when I love? Do you love forcefully, unconditionally, gently, quietly, desperately? I feel like my love, oh, that's like a hard one. I'm not really sure how I love because I'm not obviously on the other side of me, but I like to feel like I love like a hug, you know, like I squeeze, but I'm not a very long hug either. I'm just like a general hug goodbye, you know? Like that's how I love is like a hug goodbye. Is that weird that it's a goodbye hug and not a hello hug? But that's how I feel. It's like a love that like wishes you well and it like wraps itself around people, but I wouldn't say that my love is desperate, and I wouldn't say that my love is very forceful. I'm definitely a person who, like, if the other person that I love is not interested in loving me anymore, or is loving me in a way that is destructive, I will walk. I will, like, walk away. I'm just. It might take me some time to pack all my things and walk away, but I will abandon ship. And I don't think my love is unconditional necessarily, because I've never really been given unconditional love. So that's a bit challenging. And my love is not, it's not necessarily gentle, it's not necessarily like harsh, but I wouldn't say that it's soft love, because it's like firm. A hug has a squeeze, and it's not quiet at all. My love is probably very loud. Everybody at the party knows that I'm hugging you goodbye, you know. Is unrequited love real love? I think it is. I think that the person feeling that love, it's real to them, but because I think you can love a person without them loving you back, but I wouldn't say it's as fulfilling as true love, perhaps. Is my perception of myself similar or the same to how others perceive you? It, I, maybe it's the same. I don't really get a lot of opinions on how others see me. Often my critiques about myself, my friends don't say, and I believe they're just kind of being polite about it. Like they're just, you know, like they can tell that it really upsets me because I'm very hard on myself, and I've had like years and years of installation from my mom, and when she was in an abusive relationship with her ex-husband. I I just like I think people can tell that my flaws are crumbling me every day on a daily basis. So I don't know that they point them out all the time unless they like there are people who have wanted to hurt me. So I don't really think I have the ability to answer this question. So I'm assuming it is probably similar. I don't like think that I'm all that and a bag of chips, you know, like but I think my friends like now value me, and they probably see me differently than how I see myself, but in a good way, in the best way. They see me where I'm still like struggling to learn to love myself, and they already love those parts of me. Am I overly analytical? Probably. I don't know if I'm probably like a tad too analytical, yeah. Do I ever feel that I am a really terrible person and only act good out of societal or some other obligation? I definitely don't think that I act good out of a societal obligation. I could give a fuck about what the society wants me to do. It's been toxic every time I've tried to take its advice. And what this society would say is a good person, I would argue, is not a good person. But I used to struggle with that. I used to definitely think I was not a good person. I was a terrible person. And am I Mother Teresa? Am I a saint upon saints? No. But I would say that I am probably a very good, kind person. And I will do things for people even if I lose out on money. And that's probably one of the reasons I'm not rich. But I, hope to be that someday. What am I missing from my life? I am missing a stable income. I am missing a stable, livable income. That is what I'm missing. Have I ever met someone who had a very similar personality to my own? Did I get along? I don't know that I've met somebody who has a very similar personality to me. I've definitely met people with similar traits of myself. I've seen pictures of people who might be really the same towards me, but I would hope that I would get along and not get irritated by me, but I don't know. It really depends on a bunch of factors. Do opposites attract? I think opposites can. I don't know necessarily. I think you need some common ground, but I definitely I feel like my boyfriend and I balance each other out because he's more organized, he's a little more careful, I'm more creative, and I'm a little more messy and spontaneous and let's go this and let's go challenge our boundaries and do all these things. So, and I think it's a dynamic that works well. Is my life what I expected it would be 5 years ago? Absolutely not. It is not at all. I think it's better in some ways and worse in other. Worse career-wise, better love-wise, and like what I'm building-wise. So I think it's working out. Do I know what I want out of life? Absolutely. Absolutely. I know what I want out of life. What makes a person good? Am I a good person? I think what makes a person good is just being a part of the community, giving back to their friends, being a good listener, helping people who are in a less privileged position than they are, helping other people even when it's inconvenient sometimes, and just caring with your whole heart and loving others. And I think also if you're an animal lover, you're usually a good person. Not always, though. There are some wild vegans out there. And I believe I am a good person. I'm always trying. And I don't think that I'm like a flawless good person, or the like, I don't know that I'm the top 10 best good person in the world, you know, but I'm in probably the top like 100,000, you know. What fundamentally matters to me? Having a home that I feel safe in, making sure my cats, friends, family are safe, making good art, getting recognition for that good art, and getting money for that good art. Is free will an illusion? I think in some ways, yeah, because everything is a kind of result of the people who have already had power and established the rules before you. But we are like basically free. We're not free, right? But do we have total freedom? No. So, free will is an illusion-ish. Do I create art, and how do I define art? I do create art. I define art as self-expression and kind of a freedom of others' expectations. Art can be good and bad. Art can be controversial. And art can be challenging. Art can be negative. It's just expression. It's just expression of feelings inside. How often do I lie? Is all lying inherently bad? Am I generally truthful? I would say that I am generally truthful. I don't really know how often I lie. I don't think often. It's very hard for me to come up with a lie on the fly. Like, I have to, like, plan out anything. The only times I really lie is, like, usually when I'm canceling something. I don't know why I do that, because sometimes I think the truth sounds too lame or doesn't sound like a good enough reason to cancel. And usually even those lies I tell are, like, they're, like, excuses that I didn't use during another time. Like, when I went to do something sick and I didn't, like, take off for it, then I use a sick excuse. So that's kind of how I lie. But I don't think that all lying is inherently bad. Like, I think sometimes lying to not hurt someone's feelings is, like, valid. You know what I mean? Like, because what's the point, right? Like, I mean, if especially if they can't fix it, right? Like, if your friend is like, I'm ugly, and maybe you think they are ugly, but, like, telling them they're ugly it doesn't help anything. And it's usually not something they could do. So just, like, tell them they're beautiful, you know? Like, what does it matter? Like, I think that some lies can't hurt. And I think, like, being in the truth all the time is, like, super intense. And, like, I understand that it's important, but it's, like, it's also, like, it's your truth, right? Like, somebody else, while you could think this person is ugly, another person could think that they're beautiful, you know? So that's just all depends. Do I want to be remembered after my death? What for? I would like to be remembered after my death, and I would like to be remembered for my art and the impact I made on society. Is true world peace ever possible? I believe it is. People are going to really take their mental health seriously, but I believe true peace on earth is possible. Do I have to suffer to truly understand the human condition? What is the human condition? How can you really experience it? I think, unfortunately, suffering is part of the human condition. I wouldn't be like, hey, go suffer extra, right? Because I think no matter what, being alive, you will naturally suffer. You will get cuts, you will get bruises, you will probably get an injury, you will get your feelings hurt. That's just being alive. That is the human condition. And you just experience it by like living. Like everybody's human condition is unique, which is fascinating. Am I free? Will I ever be? Can anybody truly be free? I feel pretty free, you know? Like obviously we're in a very confining society in a lot of ways in America, but like I could change it if I really wanted to. It would just like be a lot of nonsense from other people being like, I don't want you to move to France and I can't support that, right? And also like the money of switching. But I mean, I feel freer than I was obviously when I was in abusive relationships. So, and I think that as I grow more financially strong, I will continue to be more free. And I think people, you know, you can feel free is kind of how you define it. Obviously, true freedom, probably not. But for the most part, yeah. I mean, like, sometimes a 75 is good enough, you know? Do I hold myself to a higher standard than I hold others? Yeah, absolutely. What do I expect from a friend or a partner? I expect them to listen, to support my works, to also be like fun to be around and be positive and like we both learn from each other. What question could you ask to find out the most about a person? Oh, this is a good question. I love talking about romantic histories because I do feel like that tells a lot about a person. I love that. And it's just like how a person loves is so interesting to me. Do I justify all my beliefs or have I inherited and absorbed some? I try to justify what I believe, but like the other day I was watching the Prince of Egypt review coming soon, and I realized, I mean, I have absorbed a lot of beliefs that I don't know that who I am now I currently believe, and it's like I don't really necessarily always question them until like I see them again and then I meet them as my present self, because there's just things that I was beaten over the head with as a child and like told it was sinful to believe otherwise. And now I'm like I have more freedom, like I said, and now I'm like, I don't know if I believe that, knowing what I've seen as an adult, and just knowing like how abusive people have been, and people have been silent about it, and allowed lies to become facts because no one questioned it, and people were beaten into submission, and it was really sad. So I try to keep an open mind about what I believe, and I'm definitely still developing my own beliefs. What beliefs do I have that is most likely to be wrong? I mean, I don't know. This is really hard. I feel like probably like the stories that I felt to be true in the Bible are maybe not true. They seem like really hard to like logically justify, like it raining for 40 days. I mean, I guess it could rain for 40 days and nights and somebody could build an ark, but every animal in the existence being on that boat, that seems a little, and surviving at the end of 40 days and 40 nights in those conditions seems a little logical. Splitting the Red Sea seems a little bit, and like I don't know, right? I don't know that I have a belief that is like wrong. Like I definitely think that, you know, like sometimes I think I will, when I am hurt, I will think of thoughts that I'm be like, I'm justified in doing this, like, but it's like vengeance, so I'm not justified in doing it, right? But also like you got to hold people accountable. So that's like a belief that I'm learning. This question is hard because it's like, well, I don't really have, I feel like that's like kind of a bit of a thing for my like depression and anxiety, is that my beliefs feel to be all over the place, and I'm unsure of what I really believe, and I don't really know how to find like my faith and spirituality again, and and everything that I've been searching for, it doesn't feel quite right. It feels like every shirt is a crop top and all the shorts are just like a little too short, and it feels like I've outgrown all of these things, and and to believe is to just go along to make myself and others feel better, but it doesn't feel necessarily true. So that's what I'm going through, y'all. Can humans really understand the complete nature of the universe, space, and time? I don't think so, because I think everybody is really unique. So there's always going to be somebody who is learning something different from you, and that's like pretty fascinating. But hey, I think you can try. Is a conscious what makes someone a person? I believe animals have conscious. I can see my cat Marcy when she's about to do something that she knows that I will not like versus something she wants to do even if it's bad, right? Like I don't think a conscious is what makes somebody a person. Yeah, because I also know people that do not seem to have a conscious. What do I think about artificial intelligence? Well, in terms of the app Tune Me, I love it, but it does freak me out if I think a lot about it because I am very scared of the movie I, Robot, and I have to honor that fear, as it caused me to run out of the Harry Potter movie when I was a child, and I, really liked those movies. So, what do I think about artificial intelligence? I try not to. Do I think humans are obsessed with escapism? Books, videos, movies, games, etc. Am I looking for an escape? Do I think that's a bad thing? I think some humans are obsessed with escapism because our society system is not built for the best lifestyle, especially in America. Like, you cannot work this hard. It's literally killing us. You cannot work this hard, eat that bad, and not exercise and not connect. Like, that's just, it's not going to work. That's not what our bodies are built for. So I think escapism makes us get out of our bodies even more because we're so dragged down by not listening to them to support this idea of society, because we think that's what makes us better, is being rich, and like, you're gonna be rich if you don't spend any money on your health, because health is very expensive in America. But sometimes I'm looking for an escape, for sure. Sometimes I need to get out of my own head and I feel overwhelmed. Honestly, I really could use a trip right now, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to find the time to do one. I don't think that looking for an escape is necessarily a bad thing. I think if you live your entire life in escape and you don't live, I think that could be problematic, right? And probably very hurtful to others who probably want you to be present. So I think escapism is a balance. Are we eventually going to run out of new combinations of music, art, languages, etc.? Is there a limit to human creativity? I don't think so, because I think everybody is so vastly unique. I think we'll always have like a new interpretation of something, or something that's like been so long forgotten it feels new enough. And I don't think there is a limit to human creativity. I mean, I think there's a morality limit for me personally. I don't know about like fucking animals, right? And calling that a creative expression, right? Or like same with children. Like, I think there's like morality limits, but I think the cool thing about creativity is that at times it is absolutely infinite and beautiful. What do I think the next era of music will be like? Oh man, I feel like it's also different, but from what I've been hearing on TikTok, there's like an authenticity going on, and like a really pure rawness. At least that's the kind of music that I'm connecting with, and I think we're done with just like making a hit to please an audience. Of course, the record companies, they're still going to do that, but I think like music that seems to people really like are just like these authentic screams of feelings, and it's incredible, and I'm super excited about it, and I'm super excited to maybe contribute. Yay. What do I think the next era of fashion will be like? Absolutely ridiculous, but I'm for it because it's creative expression. Do we live in tumulus times, or do they just seem so strange because we're living in them? I do think we live in a tumulus time. I think we are now feeling like the old ways do not work, and the old ways are so ingrained, and people are scared to let go of them because change is stressful, as my boyfriend always says. But it is stressful, but I think it can be for the best. Like, I think times have changed too much to continue with the old ways because we just have too many new things in it, and things are being constantly developed that we have to have some change in. It's not to forget our ideals and like sense of morality, but I think it is to be like, we need to look at these things. I mean, I cannot believe that Facebook is allowed to do some of the inhumane things it is being allowed to do. Would you want to meet a clone of myself? Would I like them? I would like to have a clone just to balance my workload better. And I'm assuming that I would like them because they would be very helpful, because we would both be passionate about the things that we want to do. So we would be able to do it because it's both of us, and I would know exactly how I want to do it, and I wouldn't have to explain or pay myself, because I would just be like, yeah, we're building this together. So yeah, I probably would like it. It would probably still also be freaky, but yeah. How confident am I really? I feel like 50-50, like it depends. Which is sad that I feel like I'm probably more confident than most people, but I do have to like talk myself up a lot. Like my confidence is just not, I don't wake up confident. It's something I have to coach myself into. How consistent is my perception of time? Sometimes it's right on the nose, and other times it's all over the place. Some of that does depend on the weed that I am eating. So, what age should people be allowed to vote? I honestly think that like some 16-year-old should be able to vote. I think if you're able to drive, you should vote. So I would lower it to that. I could even honestly argue 15 if you're allowed to work then. That's usually the child working laws, although somehow in entertainment industry you can work younger. But I feel like by then you've had enough government stuff. You've had enough government classes. You know sort of how geography. You know just about as like adults do because they forget. You know if they're not keeping up with the government stuff. So, and I think like as a youth, you have a say in how the world is, and that it shouldn't just be up to people who are adults. Like our kids, they live here too. Oh, the other part of the question was should children and teenagers be allowed to vote? So I said teenagers because I think as a kid, like you're just not, I think, mature enough necessarily to vote. I think there are some children who are definitely mature enough to vote, but I would say as a whole, probably not until 15. How do I feel about the idea an eye for an eye? Well, as a blind person, I kind of loved it at first, because that helps out my problem. But an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. But in some ways, too, I do feel like if you mess up, you need to make it up in the same way that you messed up, or as best as you can. Like, if you killed somebody, I think an I'm sorry isn't going to cut it. I think you need to do something more than that. Like, I think you need to be like, let me like create a foundation for this person. Like, what was the person I killed about passionate about? Like, I will go and do that for them in their name, right? Like, I think there is something to owning what you put out into this world and reciprocating energy and making things right. I don't think that's by hurting people. Also, the Hammurabi Code is like literally the reason why there's not equal rights between male and female. Really sad. I can press a button that would make any one person explode. Who would I blow up? I want to say Mark Zuckerberg, but honestly, I don't want to blow anybody up, but I want to send them to an island where there's no cell service and they just have to like live on the island like that. And I would say Mark Zuckerberg. I would probably say Matt Pert, my like abuser and rapist, and I would also say Kellen Farrell, also my ex-husband. But I wouldn't want to make them explode. I would just want those three people to all live on an island together. And if they realize that they should treat women better and fix their companies, then yeah, then they can come back to Earth. So it's not a total ban. It's just like I need you to sit in timeout. You know what I mean? It was brave of me to win this. Hopefully you don't sue me, but statute of limitations, hopefully, by the time anybody finds this. Who would I really like to just punch in the face? Probably Mark Zuckerberg, but I don't really want to condone violence. I don't think it's worth it. I just like to get a grip, right? And my punches aren't very strong, so there's that. But I'm not, yeah. I don't think I would if I had the chance. I would just like to really have a conversation and be like, do you care that you're like doing this, that is harming all these teenage girls, and there's like all of this illegal child porn? Like, do you care? Can you please like try a little harder? I'm sure you could figure it out. You're supposedly a genius. If anyone could be my slave for a day, who would it be and what would they have to do? I don't want to make anybody my slave. It would be myself, and I would have to take care of myself better. Or my boyfriend, and he would just have to continue to do what he does. But maybe with less attitude and snarky jokes. What is my best physical attribute? I know people like my boobs. I don't always love my boobs. And I used to really like my eyes, but I don't like them anymore as much. My teeth, yeah, sorry, this is like so self-hatey, but it's just, honestly, I have a pretty vagina for the most part. I don't really love all of my hair on it, but I have a pretty vagina, so there's that. If I was the opposite sex for one day, what would I look like and what would I do? Well, I'd hope to be a skinny boy rather than a chubby boy, because I'm a chubby girl, but I would love to feel like what it feels like to jack off and come. I know that's like very vulgar, sorry, but I'm very curious. I think I would have like swoopy surfer hair, or like hair that's like really high and curly, and like I would look hot as hell if I was a man. And like killer jawline, great teeth, like come fuck me eyes, like just that was what I would want to be. Probably brown hair. I would like to have like be skinny fit, like six pack, nice arms and legs. That's how I would be as a man. I would be who I want to be. And yeah, I would probably jack off, and then I would stay up all night and be outside in the park and not get worried about being raped, and maybe even save other girls from being raped. So that's what I would do as a guy. Do I have a secret talent? If yes, what is it? I can burp the alphabet, and I don't really tell everybody about that, but like A, B, E, D, E, F, G. Right, I can keep going. I'm not gonna put you through that, but I can do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What is one unique thing I'm afraid of? Well, I don't know if I think I might be a little, no, I think I'd be less afraid of it as long as I could turn on the light switch, which I think I would be able to do now. But when I was a kid, I was very afraid of getting trapped behind the store, like jail things at the mall, you know, like when they closed down a shop, they like pull down that like metal thing. I was very scared of that. I don't really know, I don't really think it's unique to be afraid of like getting pregnant by a rapist, and I'm not really afraid of that now that I have a boyfriend, because I feel like protected with that. I definitely am afraid of being like overly obese. Not that I'm like shaming anybody like that, because I understand like our health system is just, it's really hard, and you can dissociate from your body, and like the battle is tough. But I do get scared of like having a heart attack or being able to get diabetes, especially as I'm prone to that. Also like going through cancer, because like I made a short film about what I would do, or is a short film is in the works about what I would do if I had cancer. So I can only have one kind of sandwich. Every sandwich ingredient known to humankind is at my disposal. So I want a croissant bread, right? Buttered. I want Swiss cheese on it. Meats are hard because I don't always feel like I can eat meat at every time, but I feel like I could probably do oysters. Oysters would be good. So this croissant Swiss cheese oyster sandwich, maybe it's got some veganese, and which is silly because they're Swiss cheese, but I gotta cut the dairy out when I can, you know. Yeah, I think that would be it. I've never even made that sandwich, so I have no idea if it's good, but it sounds good to me. I just found $100. How I'm gonna spend it? It's gonna go to my short films. So there you go. I just got a free plane ticket to anywhere in the world, but I have to leave immediately. Where am I going to go? I'm going to France. I'm going to Paris. Goodbye. Never coming back. No, maybe I will. I don't know if I'll actually like it until I get there, but I'm going to Paris. An angel appears out of heaven and offers me a lifetime supply of the alcoholic beverage of my choice. Be brand specific, it says. Man, what are you going to say about that? Even if you don't drink beer,
This is the thing I hate about the heat, is that everything cool that helps, my skin hates. Like this water bottle is too cold.
The gray whale gin, but it's in a blue
like
bottle.
My cold allergy. It's fine because I'm gonna get hot. It's just like it's a catch-22. It's like it just hurts.
Hell yeah, I can.
But I know
I'll
be okay.
Bunch of them just for funsies. Shrimp on the barbie. Steve Irwin's my daddy. That one was probably a terrible Australian one, but that's still an accent different than my own. But yeah, I can do a couple of them, and I'm learning more accents every day. Accent reel coming soon. What do I like on my toast? I don't really like toast, but when I do have toast, I like strawberry jam and butter. What is the last thing I drew a picture of? I don't really draw anymore, but usually I either draw like smiley faces, stars, hearts. That's what I go to. What would be my dream car? A Tesla. That would be, I think I like the red Tesla, honestly, and I want it because it's self-driving and it would be easy for me. Do I sing in the shower? Or do anything unusual in the shower. I mean, I've peed in the shower before, and I don't feel shame about it because I just feel like, hey, it's wasting less water, maybe. But sometimes I sing in the shower, sometimes I don't. Most of the time I work from the bath. I don't really take a lot of showers, but I will, like, edit pictures in the bath, which is, like, dangerous with the phone. I've definitely lost phones to my bath antics, but I had to. Sometimes I read in the bath, too. People get really mad about that because it ruins books, but I'm like, hey, it's my book to ruin, which is probably very aggressive, and I shouldn't do that, because I should give my book to other people, which now I do. I don't read as much in the bath as I am working on more stuff, but I usually like edit in the bath. I mean, it's probably insane that I do that, but I feel really chill, and I know Salvador Dali felt like the bath gave him like a creative thing, and I definitely feel that way as well. Do I believe in aliens? I mean, I don't think it even matters because I think they've proven that aliens have existed. So it's not a matter of I believe in them. They're out there. And it's probably, I mean, there's apparently the galaxies are so vast, it would be silly to just think that it's just us existing. So yeah, I guess I do believe in aliens. Do I often read my horoscope? Not often. I don't really have anything that like pings me daily about it. And probably if I did, I would read it. But yeah, sometimes I'll dabble. I'll dabble in my horoscope. I like to see. What is my favorite letter of the alphabet? I mean, I do like the letter of my name, T. I like a good U, too. I like the U. Like the letter U, not Y-O-U. I also do like the show U. Yeah, probably T and U. I like O. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know if there's any other ones that are, like, sticking out to me. Which is cooler, dinosaurs or dragons? Dragons, absolutely. What do I think about babies? Babies make me incredibly nervous. I'm glad you had one though, and like fertility is a gift, and you should celebrate your life, and that's such a positive thing if you have a baby. But I get really nervous about their soft heads. I get really nervous for them. People are creepy about babies. I was like molested as a baby, so you know I'm very protective. Some babies are cute, I will say, and some babies are not cute, and everybody seems to pretend they are cute, and I am really bad at that. This one is a freebie. I can ask anything interesting I can think of. What do you think of this video? For me, I have no idea what this video will even be because I'm in the midst of creating it. So that's my answer. All right. I promised my cat that I would stop. And this is probably good enough. So thank you for listening. I hope you liked my answers to these questions. Sorry that you could hear paper. One of the questions for my next one fell, but yeah, let me know your answers and what you thought, and let me know if there's any other videos you'd like me to create, and please make sure to subscribe, donate, whatever you can do, like, follow me on social media. All of that is much appreciated, and I hope you have a great day.